What's going on, everybody? Spaceballs here. Welcome back to another Skylanders video. Alright everyone, today I'm super excited because today we're going to do the C6 video. I know I did the C5 video like probably 3 weeks ago, and I kind of never got back to the C6 one, and that's just because I wasn't really worried about farming it, because as a free-to-play player, you're not really going to worry about C6 right away because it is so expensive to upgrade runes, and I'm going to show you an example of it in just 1 second here. So as a free-to-play player, you shouldn't really be worrying about rushing to C6 because you really don't need 6-star runes. You can manage just fine with 5-star, even 4-star legendary runes, to be honest with you, because 6-star runes are an absolute nightmare. So let me show you an example of what I'm talking about. So I just had 14 million gold, and I had this 6-star piece of gear here, which I'll show you here. It is a helmet, and I started upgrading this. I had 120,000 ether. Now, I wish I would do this on video, but I didn't realize it was going to cost me this much. This is my first 6-star piece of gear that I actually upgraded. It's not terrible. I mean, it's got 20 crit damage, 5 crit rate, 120 attack. I would rather a little bit more crit rate, but I'm okay with it. But the problem with this is it costed me 5 million golds and 120,000 ether to upgrade this to level 12. And that is no joke. I am being 100% truthful with you. I'm sure if you guys are upgrading 6-star runes, you know what I'm talking about. And now to max this out to 15, if I'm unlucky, this will probably cost me the rest of my gold and another 100 to 200,000 ether. So what I'm trying to say by this is, like, if you're a free-to-play player, you should not be worrying about 6-star runes until like all of your 4-star and 5-star gear is plus 15. And mine is not, because making that gear plus 15 is going to be so much easier for you. Now, I don't want to turn this into a rune video and just sit here and talk about runes, because this is more about farming C6. So really do it at your own discretion. It is really up to you. But just know, as a free-to-play player, it is an absolute nightmare. It is going to cost you a fortune. You are going to have to be sitting in adventures and cyclops for days and days and even weeks at that matter, to get a full set of 6-star plus 15 gear. It is going to be double the grind, maybe even triple the grind that you're doing now. So for me, I'm going to lay off the 6-star gear. I'm still going to farm C6 because it does give you a lot of 5-star legendary gear and 4-star legendary gear as well. So if you can farm it like in, 14 to 16 turns, it is worth it. But if you're not farming it that fast, then it's not worth it. Just stay in C5. Trust me, I've been there for the past 7 weeks and I've had no issues with it. So now let's get into C6 and let me show the team I'm using first. So first up, we have Pit Boss. And remember, I am 100% free to play. Now, I am using a legendary. And like I always tell you guys, if you're playing this game for 7 to 8 weeks, you will be able to build a legendary. It is important to build the right legendary. For me, I built Pit Boss, and that's because Pit Boss literally is good in all content, PvE, PvP, and he's a god in C6. So what it comes down to is really picking the right legendary, because all of you guys will have a legendary within 6 to 8 weeks of playing this game. So even if you're free to play, you will still be able to use a legendary. So don't say, oh, you're not free to play because you're using a legendary. I am absolutely free to play. It's just I picked the right legendary for the content that I wanted to do. So now, like, let's say you build something that's not so good, like a Kingpin. Now Kingpin, he's okay, but I don't think he's going to carry you in, the PvE content the way Pit Boss will. So it's just really important that you make the right decision and you build the right Skylander to carry you through the PvE content. So now we have Pit Boss here. He's almost maxed. I just got him an all plus 12 5-star gear, and I think I'm going to max all this out, because if I didn't do that 6-star piece of gear, I probably could have maxed all of this gear out, supposed to just doing one piece of 6-star gear to 12. I just wanted to kind of test it out, but I don't think I'm going to be touching 6-star gear anytime soon, let me tell you. Let me just show you his overall stats. And then I'll also click his gear as well so you can see my main stats. This is just so you guys can see and get an idea of how I'm ruining my Skylanders. And the one thing I learned, guys, and now I do have effect accuracy on Pit Boss, and he is the only exception to the rule. You don't want to put accuracy on any of your Skylanders, especially in PvP. PvE, it's not as much a big deal, but in PvP, don't put effect accuracy as your main stat. It's a big mistake. You'll actually get wrecked by people that are using defense and HP. I learned that the hard way. So except for my Pit Boss, because I need him to strip, so accuracy is really important on him. Other than that, I don't put effect accuracy on anything else. I only use accuracy as a main stat on my Pit Boss, and I only use it on his ring, nothing else. And that's because I'm not using him as a damage dealer anyway, so I don't need crit rate or crit damage or anything like that. Now, I could put resistance, but accuracy is more important because Pit Boss's main job in PvP is to strip the enemy. Now, next up here, we have Road Brawler. I just changed her runes again, and I switched them all to 5-star gear. So all my Skylanders now are in 5-star gear currently. And again, here, I'll click on each one so you can see how I'm ruining her. We just went with really high attack, crit rate, crit damage, as much damage stats as we can get. Now, if you look at the boots, we have HP. And on this one, we have defense, no accuracy. We don't need it. And then again, we have accuracy, crit rate, crit damage. This rune's actually perfect for Road Brawler. I don't think I'll ever take this off of her, even for a 6-star piece of gear. And here again, crit rate, crit damage, accuracy. So you really want to make sure you get the accuracy in substats, not in main stats. Just keep that in mind. Let's try to go through this a little bit faster so this video is not a half-hour long. Then we got my man, Flare Wolf. I love this man. He is so good. All content. He hits like an absolute truck. This man is amazing. I wish I would have built him sooner. And what's great about him is he's kind of like Ambush, where he is a tank DPS, where he axes for HP and damage, stats. Same thing like Ambush, where, his rune set takes HP and then crit damage, crit rate. And those kind of damage dealers are the best because they're tanky. It's not like you're building a glass cannon like Road Brawler or Stink Bomb, something that just takes all damage and no, HP or defense. So something like a Flare Wolf is really good because you could stack HP, you could stack attack, basically anything you want. And this man is going to hit like an absolute truck. So again, we're running him like a damage dealer with HP. And I want a little bit of resistance on him as well. Then we have HP here, because again, more HP he has, the more damage he does. Then we got HP. And I like a little resistance because I do use him in defense. The accuracy, I don't really want so much. It just got unlucky rolls, but this has good defense, so I threw it on him. Because when you're running something with a ton of HP, you do want to have a little bit of defense to back that HP up. Now, last here is my man Stink Bomb. We do want some accuracy on Stink Bomb. A decent amount, actually. Effect accuracy, because he does have a diminish and a poison, so it is important. So we have his helmet. Again, we're running him like a damage dealer. Accuracy, attack, crit damage, crit rate, and some HP if we can get it. So HP, accuracy, crit rate. Main stat, HP. Again, no more accuracy. In my C5 video, in my C4 video, we were using accuracy as main stats. And again, in PvE, it's not that bad. But when you get to PvP, it is bad. Trust me, you will get wrecked by the enemy because you're literally losing like 10 to 15k power per actually main stat that you're using. So again, in the gloves, we have attack. Then we have the body here. Again, attack, crit rate, defense, resistance. And then the weapon, accuracy, crit rate, crit damage. So that is the team we're using to farm C6. We're doing it about 14 to 16 turns. It is 100% consistent. Now, I could have been farming C6 a long time ago, but like I said, I just didn't see the need to. So let's get into some runs here so you guys can see the team in action. And honestly, you guys can change Pit Boss out for Flashwing, I believe. As long as Flashwing has good enough runes and he can survive the hits, I think Flashwing would work just as good as Pit Boss. So let's turn on the auto runs here so you guys can see it in action. Okay, but before I hit go, I almost hit go. I always forget that the stuff doesn't change from my phone to my BlueStack. So let me make a few changes here. So first up, we change Reno out for George. Now, I think once I max the runes out, I can actually use Reno no problem. I don't think George is really doing much here, but it's just like a safety net. Just in case the boss does big damage, we have the shield to back us up. And I do like to use Pit Boss in the leader skill here because it does give us 40% more HP. But I don't have his leader skill maxed out, so it's only like 20% right now. But in the future, it will be 40%. So this is the exact team that I'll be using. I don't think I've ever failed with this team yet. So the thing with C6 is, like, you'll know when you're ready for C6. Basically, what you need is all your 5-star runes leveled up to 12. All of the Skylanders max super boosted, max transcended. The legendary doesn't matter as far as transcending goes, but your heroics do. And once you achieve that, you should be able to get into C6, no problem. But again, don't rush, because trust me, these 6-star runes are a nightmare. But you do get good gear drops, as in 5-star legendary gear, 4-star legendary gear. So if you're farming it fast enough, it is better than farming C4 or C5. But don't rush into it, because trust me, C5 and C4, there is nothing wrong with it. You will still get the runes you need. As you can see, all of my Skylanders are runed beautifully. And I've only been farming C6 for about a day now. None of these runes came from C6. Just keep that in mind. So let's get into some runs here so you guys can see how the team works. Now again, as far as Pit Boss goes, and the reason I picked him is because he's so universal and literally so good in all content. He brings the attack buff by 70%. He brings the lead, gives you an HP buff by 40%. He's got the drain effect for 2 turns. He's got the reduced mana, and just one of the best supports in the game. Like, I can't say enough about Pit Boss. And by me using Pit Boss, I don't have to use a second healer. Now, I know a lot of people use 2 healers in C6, but if you have Pit Boss and you have him ruined really, really well, he can actually be your solo support in this, and he doesn't even bring a direct heal. He actually only brings the drain effect, and he actually hurts you when he uses a 2, I think. One of his skills actually, takes HP from the team. So he actually isn't even healing you, he's actually hurting you. But because of the drain effect and how often he keeps it up with his reduced mana skill, and the fact that he also puts that on himself, he's able to keep up with the heals no problem because he constantly has that drain effect up. So I haven't had a problem as far as healing goes. So Pit Boss in that matter fills that role beautifully. So next up we have Flare Wolf, and Flare Wolf is so good because he just does so much damage. He can literally one-shot basically any one of these enemies here. And then paired with, the reduced mana cost from Pit Boss and the attack buff, which is 75% when Pit Boss is maxed out, literally makes him a machine. The man is just so amazing. Like, I love Flare Wolf. He is one of my favorite Skylanders in the game currently. Just something about him, about his skills, the way he works, the amount of damage he does in PvP. Like, I love bringing Flare Wolf into PvP content because, like, I'll literally just one-shot somebody's, like, Stormblade. I'll almost one-shot their ambush, and it just makes me so happy inside because he's just so strong and such a force to be reckoned with. Now, next up here, we have Stink Bomb. Now, if anybody knows Stink Bomb, you guys know how good he is. My man has diminished poison on his A1 for only a 2 mana cost. And then with the reduced from Pit Boss, it's only a 1 mana cost, and his A2 is actually a 0. And that is the same for Road Brawler on her A2. When the reduced mana is up, her A2 is actually a 0 mana cost. But Stink Bomb is able to put up so many debuffs, and he does such good damage. Even though he's a support-based Skylander, he's still able to pump out the damage just because of his debuffs and how much damage he does on his A2. So if you get enough crit rate and crit damage on him, this man just deals out the damage. Next up, we have Road Brawler. Everybody knows about Road Brawler at this point. She is so strong. Such cheap costing skills for such a powerful effect. Like, her A2 does so much damage and puts up the diminish, and it is such a cheap skill. It's only a 1 mana cost, and the amount of damage that skill does, it is so worth it, which makes her so strong. And then she has the A1 on top of it, which makes her even stronger because she literally does an AoE knockdown, poison, and diminish. And somebody asked me the other day, they're like, why do you think Road Brawler is so strong? I use my Road Brawler. She's really not that good. She never puts up the poison. She never puts up the diminish. And I'm like, honestly, you should take a look at her runes. And maybe it's because, like, you don't have enough accuracy on her, or maybe the runes, like, just don't fit her. Because if you get enough attack on her and enough accuracy, crit damage, just, DPS substats, I promise you Road Brawler is going to do work and she is going to smash it. Now, I didn't take notice of how many turns that was, so let's do it one more time. I don't want to drag this video out too much, but I did want to see how many turns we did it in. I'm sure you guys will see it. I can't see it now currently in the video. Let's do it one more time. I don't think we need to do like a million runs. I think you guys get the point. And if you guys follow me on Twitch, which is linked down below, you guys will see that I farmed C6 for the past 2 days steadily on stream. No issues. So if you guys want to see further of this, you guys can see it on Twitch. So now back to Road Brawler again. People are saying like she's not as strong as people say she is. And the same thing with Boom Bloom. People are saying that she's not as strong as people like were saying she was. Now with Boom Bloom, I kind of agree with that to an extent. But with Road Brawler, I do not agree with it. I think Road Brawler is fantastic. Her skills are so cheap. But with all of your Skylanders, they really need to be built properly. They need the right runes. They need enough HP, enough defense to survive. So let's say like Road Brawler, if I had her on effect accuracy and I had no defense and HP on her and she was just a glass cannon, she would probably get knocked out before the boss fight, and then you would say to yourself, oh, she's terrible, she can't even take a hit. But if you have Road Brawler with, 3,000 attack, 1,500 HP, 1,500 defense, I promise you will see a different Road Brawler, and she will wreck face. Between that AoE knockdown, that one cost A2, which does a ton of damage. Like, I think it hits like 4 times, and it puts up the diminish, and then followed up by her A3. Like, I use her in every single PvP offense that I do. Right now, she is my main AoE nuker. Now, I also bring Stink Bomb, and Stink Bomb is great and everything, but he does not bring an AoE to the table. He can only do, an A1 that puts up a poison and diminish, and yes, it is strong and it does hit like a truck, but he does not bring the A1 that Road Brawler brings. So now they both kind of have similar skills. So let's kind of compare Stink Bomb's A1 to Road Brawler's, A2. The only difference is Stink Bomb's is 2 mana cost, but he puts up a poison, and Road Brawler's is 1, but she only puts up a diminish, and they both hit, I think they both hit 3 times. But then if you look at their, other skills, Road Brawler has an AoE poison diminish. I believe it's a poison and diminish. Let me check here real quick. Yeah, she has a poison diminish knockdown, And then on Stink Bomb's A2, he has an accuracy down and an evasion rate up. So when you compare these two, Roadbrawler just kind of outshines him as far as a DPS offense unit goes, because that A1 is just so strong. So if she has enough accuracy and she's runed properly, like the point I'm trying to make here is she needs to be built right. And that goes for all Skylanders. They need to be built properly. If they're not built properly, they're not going to work the way you want them to. And you're going to get disappointed. And maybe you're going to think the Skylander's not that good. But most of the time, it's not the Skylanders, guys. This is what I'm trying to, like, you know, bury into your head here. It's the runes, not the Skylanders. I promise you. It's all about how you're building them, not the actual Skylander itself. And I learned that myself by, you know, ruining all my Skylanders with effect accuracy and effect resistance. And then I realized, like, wait, why is my Skylanders always dying? Why can't I do C6? You know, why am I not getting defense wins and so forth and so forth? And it was all because I was using, you know, accuracy main stat, effect resistance main stat. Now, resistance is not as bad as a main stat. It's not as good as HP or defense, let me tell you. The best thing to do, like, is to get substats. Like, let's say you want something with really high resistance. The best thing you could do is get it in substats. Same thing with accuracy, because that main stat really does hurt you. Because that main stat, like, if you have, you know, 3,000 HP as a main stat opposed to, you know, 40 accuracy, trust me, the HP is going to take you so much further than that accuracy is going to take you. I promise you that. It's going to make your Skylander so much more tankier. And I also promise you that you can get the accuracy you need in substats. Same thing with resistance. Even if you're using 4-star legendary gear, you could still get the accuracy and resistance that you're looking for. Now, once again, I missed the turns. I think it was 15, 14, I think it was 15 or 16. I'm not really sure, but it's definitely under 17. I missed it again. I'll see it in editing, and then I'll laugh at myself. Now, if you look here at the rune drops, we got a 5-star body, legendary, and we got a 4-star ring, legendary. The thing to keep in mind here is that these are legendary. So in my head right now, farming C6 is better for me because I can do it in, you know, a fast manner. Because I think I'm farming C5 in about 9 to 11 turns. So for the extra 3 turns to get all this extra legendary gear, it's worth it. I'm not farming C6 for the 6-star gear. I'm literally farming it for the 5-star legendary gear. But at the end of the day, it's up to you on what you want to actually farm or how you want to do it. So I hope this kind of clears everything up for you on C6. If you should be farming C6, if you should be upgrading 6-star gear. At the end of the day, it's up to you. It's a personal decision on what you want to do and how you want to play this game. We do have an exclusive cookie giveaway going on. I'll link that video down below. I'll actually link it above my head here so you guys can just click it. It is an $80 giveaway exclusive to Cookie. Even if you don't play Cookie, you can still join the giveaway. Take a look at it, watch the video, and see what you have to do to join the giveaway. We're so close to 2.5k subs. Once we reach that, we will start another sub celebration giveaway. If you want to be a part of the random giveaway that we have here on YouTube, all you have to do is sub to the channel, like, and comment on my past 10 videos, and that will automatically enter you into the random giveaway. It is the biggest single prize we do on this channel. If you want to join me on Twitch and Discord, that is linked down below. We do 2 monthly giveaways on Discord, and we do random giveaways on Twitch. Thank you guys so much for the continued support. Without you guys, I couldn't do any of this. So thank you. I truly do love each and every single one of you. I will see you in the next one. Spaceballs out. Peace.